All of our listeners on Get Down to Business know how passionate I am about community, and in particular, West Rogers Park, a place that's home to so many different cultures and so many different people. Thrilled to be joined on the phone by Howard Rieger, the board president of the Jewish Community Council of West Rogers Park, where I serve as executive director. Howard, thanks for joining us on the phone.
You're welcome, Shalom. Glad to be with you.
So, Howard, tell us why you love West Rogers Park. I can tell you my reasons, but I talk about that all the time.
Well, West Rogers Park is a great neighborhood in the city of Chicago, great access to both the downtown area and the rest of Chicago, the lakefront, suburbs, and a place where you can live side by side with a variety of other groups and really benefit from the diversity of a neighborhood that's rich in its history and I think has a great future.
The term that we always use is it's the international marketplace. Where else in Chicago, where else really in the country can you walk down a few blocks and literally pass through Jewish stores, Indian, Pakistani? It's absolutely incredible. But West Rogers Park is also Devon and McCormick is really a gateway to so many communities, to Skokie, to Lincolnwood, to West Rogers Park, to Peterson Park, and there's a blight on that corner. Howard, tell us about the history of that little area.
Well, that area is adjacent to a shopping center, I think one of the first shopping centers in the city of Chicago, Lincoln Village. It was the home of a multiplex movie theater that was developed there and a car wash next to it that was a going concern for a good number of years. Unfortunately, approaching 10 years ago, for a variety of reasons, we can read about it publicly, you're never sure about the facts. The parking lot that was adjacent to that property was barricaded by the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, allegedly because of a dispute about rental payments. Water Reclamation District wanting to raise the rent, we were told, with some of the stuff I've seen in the press, by 12 or 14 times in that given year and going forward for the next number of years. And therefore, that amount couldn't be paid. The parking lot was cut off. The businesses closed because how could they be successful? How could they even operate without a place for their customers to park? And it's just sat there, vacant, abandoned for these last going on 10 years. And we know what happens when property's abandoned. There's nobody there to maintain it. It's become defaced. It's a site for graffiti. It's had broken windows. It's now boarded up. And it's just the world's worst looking gateway to our communities, all of which do a pretty good job, I think, of maintaining infrastructure elsewhere. So
we, the Jewish Community Council of West Rogers Park, decided to do something about it, wrote letters, built coalitions, and now there's progress. So, Howard, what's the next steps, and what can our listeners do to get involved and hopefully help us make our voice be heard?
Well, first of all, we have a meeting coming up at 6 p.m. this coming March 10th for an opportunity for the community to come together to have a dialogue with the executive director of the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, David St. Pierre. He's a professional that's been on board managing the Water Reclamation District for the last 4 years. He has a long career in that field in other cities, both in the West and in the Midwest. And we're hoping that if he hears our concerns, that the Water Reclamation District will actually do something about this site. The fact of life is they may have wanted increased rent, but essentially for the last 10 years they've gotten zero.
And it looks terrible.
Yeah, so anything would be better than what's there from an income point of view from their perspective and also from a community point of view.
So March 10th, 6 p.m., it's taking place at Congregation B'nai Ruvain at the corner of Devon and Whipple, 6350 North Whipple. And why should people show up? What can a bunch of people gathering together in a room really do?
Well, the way I look at it is the people who live in this community, the people who own stores or work in stores in this community, they do a pretty good job of maintaining their property. All of us are diminished when we have an eyesore like this nearby. Clearly, it isn't at the top of the priority list of the Water Reclamation District, but it should be at the top of the priority list for those of us who live here and work here. So I think just the sight of a good number of people, I would hope 100 or 200 people in a room, will let the Water Reclamation District know that this is something that's important to us and therefore should be important to them. They're a taxing body. They're a state-chartered organization. They depend upon all of us to pay our taxes to them. And therefore, they should be, and I'm sure would be willing to be responsive to us. I think the other piece of it is that the Water Reclamation District has been a good citizen elsewhere. If we look at the trail along McCormick Road that goes through Skokie and Lincolnwood and into Evanston, there's a trail there for people to bike and walk and enjoy. Parts of it have sculptures on it. It's beautiful. It's all on land that was owned and is owned by the Water Reclamation, controlled by the Water Reclamation District. They've allowed those communities to develop that and make them a site of something constructive rather than abandonment.
So all of our listeners can get involved and make their voice heard. March 10th, 6 p.m., Congregation B'nai Ruvain. Howard, what's the website for the Jewish Community Council of West Rogers Park so people can learn more about our work?
www.gowrp.org.
GoWRP.org. Make your voice heard. As Howard Rieger just said, show up to the meeting, make your voice heard. They're a taxing body. We need your involvement. The show is all about community. Keep listening. Thanks, Howard, for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Shalom. Keep up the good work.
All right. Hope to see you on the 10th.